David here. And Greece was not only shaped by speeches, battles, and marble cities. Some of its deepest turns began in private bonds, guarded ties, marriages made for power, and alliances that made men braver, rulers sharper, and cities harder to control. That is the part we often miss. The Greeks spoke about freedom, honor, courage, and reason, yet their world ran on bonds. A city trusted its allies because oaths were sworn. A noble house guarded its rank through marriage. A commander held the line because the person beside him mattered. A statesman rose because someone behind the curtain knew how status could move a room. So when we look at Greece through the lens of power, we should not ask only who led armies. We should ask who had access, who was heard in quiet hours, who created loyalty when fear was not enough, who became the bridge between ambition and trust. Picture the Greek world first, stone lanes under hard light, olive trees beyond city walls, bronze helmets near doorways. Men spoke in assemblies while servants crossed shaded courts. In a wine hall, cups of mixed wine passed between couches. Music softened the air, and clever talk became a form of status. Greece loved public life, but sway often grew in rooms smaller than the crowd. One of the clearest examples is Pericles and Aspasia. We must be careful because ancient writers often used powerful women as targets for gossip. Still, Aspasia is remembered as very smart, eloquent, and connected to the top circle of Athens. She was not simply described as beautiful. She was described as someone whose mind mattered. That point is everything. Pericles stood at the center of Athenian power, but even the strongest public man needs quiet check. A city is noisy. Praise can dull judgment. Enemies twist every move. The person who can speak honestly, read character, and steady ambition becomes more valuable than a flatterer. Aspasia's known presence shows a deep truth about sway. The most powerful bond is not always the loudest one. It is the one that sharpens perception. Here is the part most people miss. Social skill can become state skill when it is close to power. If someone knows how people move to pride, shame, fear, and admiration, they understand more than affection. They understand timing. They understand how a phrase can calm a man before a speech or harden him before a vote. That is why access has always made cities nervous. Access is power without a title. The one invited into inner thought can shape public acts without standing in the assembly. The Greeks feared this, admired it, and mocked it all at once. They knew the heart stayed close from the state. Another Greek world shows the same pattern in a harder form, Thebes. Ancient sources describe the sacred band as a force built on devoted pairs. Scholars debate the exact nature of those bonds, and we should not flatten the past into simple labels, but the core idea is clear. The Thebans believed deep attachment could become battle discipline. A man would be less likely to break if the person who mattered most stood beside him. This is more than romance. It is the logic of watched courage. Many act bravely when watched by strangers, but when watched by someone whose respect defines part of your identity, the pressure shifts. Shame becomes sharper. Courage becomes personal. Loyalty becomes embodied. The line holds because retreat would not only be battle failure, it would be emotional collapse. But what unfolded next was truly unexpected. At Leuctra, Theban power rose against Sparta, the city long seen as unbeaten on land. The battle was won by tactics, leadership, and discipline, not emotion alone. Yet the memory of Theban bonds shows why trust matters in war. Strategy can arrange bodies, but loyalty keeps them from becoming only bodies. The Greek world knew this through xenia, the old bond of guest friendship. It was not marriage and not family, yet it could tie houses across distance. A host received a guest, gifts were exchanged, names remembered, and future protection implied. On the surface, it was welcome. Beneath it was a network of trust in a dangerous world, that is, sharp social skill. Before paper systems and instant contact, bonds carried safety. To be known by the right house could mean shelter, trade, warning, or rescue. A gift was not just an object, it was memory made visible. A promise became stronger when both sides had something to lose. Yet the real secret to this mystery lies elsewhere. Greek alliances worked when they joined emotion to obligation. Feeling alone could fade. Obligation alone could turn cold. But when honor, memory, affection, and cost were tied together, the bond gained weight. That is what creates lasting trust. Not intensity by itself, but structure around intensity. Consider marriage among ruling families. A wedding could calm rivalry, bind land, secure heirs, or bring a foreign house closer to sway. Those involved might feel affection, duty, resentment, or all three. But the match was never only personal. It was a message. It told others where loyalty was expected to flow. In elite Greece and Macedon, the inner household became part of the political map. This becomes clear around Macedon, where royal marriages and family bonds often carried strategic meaning. Philip of Macedon used marriage to build alliances and soften resistance, while his household also became a place of rivalry and fear. Olympias, remembered as forceful and politically alert, stood near the future of the dynasty. The sources are shaped by hostility and legend, but one point remains. In a court, inner bonds could secure power or threaten it. That is the double edge of closeness near authority. A trusted partner can strengthen a ruler by giving counsel, legitimacy, and grounding, but the same closeness can stir jealousy, faction, and suspicion. The closer a person stands to the center, the more others read every glance as a signal. Then there is Alexander and Hephaestion. Ancient writers present their bond as very close, and later ages have read it in many ways. What matters here is not forcing a new label onto it. What matters is the loyalty known by tradition. Hephaestion was not just a background ally. He stood near Alexander's image, grief, ambition, and command. That kind of bond can become an inner homeland for a person who lives under public pressure. Alexander crossed vast distances, dealt with rival officers, foreign courts, tired men, and the burden of seeming more than human. In such a life, trust becomes rare. The one who knows you before the mask becomes almost hard to replace. But there is danger here too. When one bond carries too much weight, its loss can shake judgment. Accounts of Alexander's grief after Hephaestion are intense, though details vary. The lesson is clear enough. Power does not end need. It often makes real need harder to admit. The stronger the public image, the more valuable the inner witness becomes. This is why Greek history feels alive. It refuses to separate greatness from human need. Pericles needed counsel. Thebans turned attachment into courage. Xenia turned memory into shelter. Macedon turned homes into strategy. Alexander's closest bond revealed that conquest cannot replace being known. So what shaped Greece beneath the surface? Not plots alone, not desire alone, not strategy alone. It was the human need to bind trust to power. People followed those who made them feel seen. They defended those whose respect mattered. They trusted those who gave proof over time. They feared those who had access without being visible. That is the hidden logic of these alliances. Access creates sway, scarcity creates worth, shared risk creates loyalty. Public honor gives private bonds weight, and restraint keeps power from becoming chaos. When those forces align, an alliance can shape a city. When they fail, the same bond can become the crack that ruins one. The Greeks knew that influence was not only made of words, it was made of timing, rank, memory, beauty, fear, gratitude, and the quiet knowledge of who could enter the room when others had to wait outside. The real alliance was often not written on stone. It lived in focus, and it still does. If this story changed how you see Greece, leave a thought below and tell me which alliance felt most revealing. You can like the video, subscribe, and join me again for the next hidden lesson from history. The past often shows that power is never held by strategy alone. It is held by the people trusted close enough to shape the heart before the world sees the decision.